Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'd like to thank all who have been watching and all the new subscribers. Really appreciate it. Today's breakfast, we will be doing a bearing change on this paneled roll-up door. One of these bearings had absolutely busted out, and it was causing a large amount of drag on this roll-up door, which in turn was actually tripping the motor module and shutting down the breaker because of the jamming. So after I figured out that the bearing was the cause of the fault, I had ordered some bearings, and here they are. So we got some brand new bearings, and I had to put a little bit of work just to find these bearings, and I got this particular size, which I believe this is a 4-inch. So these are some brand new sealed bearings, and they are pre-lubricated, so you don't have to worry about putting any grease in them. So we're gonna go ahead and get the one that had failed swapped out, and then we'll go ahead and do a little check on all the rest of them. But there's some very important things that you're gonna need to know before you start taking stuff apart on this roll-up door. Now, this door can be operated from either the inside, which is here on this little control panel, or the outside, which is a touchpad, and you actually use a code to operate the door from outside. Or it also has, I believe the forklift operators use a garage door opener. So my point being, anytime this door can be opened on you. So let's say I started taking stuff apart on these roll-up door panels, and then somebody decided to open the door from outside. I'm gonna get screwed here, because these panels are gonna fall out, bend, bow, buckle, and it's just creating a very unsafe situation for everybody. So before I get started on this door, the first most important thing that I want to do is I want to either shut off the breaker that operates the entire thing, since there is no on and off switch on the actual motor operator, the door operator, or I will pull this red string. So once you pull this red string, it is essentially an e-stop. So when I pull this red string, it will put this control panel into a mode which is manual mode, and then everything's operated by the chain, and it will not be operated by the operator. So I'm going to go ahead and do my tryout. So I'm pushing the up button, and I'm getting no response, and it's showing that the F96 interlock is engaged. So that's what I want. I want to engage the interlock, and I want to go ahead and lower my door back down, and then that will basically allow me to put it in a safe condition to actually get this bearing housing off and get it swapped out. That way I could get this bearing housing off in order to get the bearing changed. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Nothing very special, but if you did have a lock, I will go ahead and put a lock on this chain so that nobody can operate it. Although it will not be operated automatically, it will be operated manually. I'm still going to go ahead and slap a lock on that just in case. So let me get to that. Yeah, so here we go. Alright, we are back, and I got the lock. So let me go ahead and lock my chain. I'm going to go ahead and lock my chain. Alright, here we go. So that is that. Now if I try to operate the door, it has the interlock and it will not operate. So as long as nobody pulls this green cord down, we should be fine. But I will be right here with a scissor lift blocking the cord, or I can tie the cord up so that it's unable to be reached by anybody standing here. The operator will not operate in automatic mode at this point. So let's get started. Alright, so here we are at the source of all the problems. So as you guys can see, this roller is missing the actual bearing, the roller on the bearing and the balls, and all it has is the inner race left on it. And this thing was binding and causing a fault on the roll-up door operator. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be removing this entire plate and then swapping out this shaft, which actually has a roller wheel at the end of it. So here is the new shaft. and this is what it should look like. So the first thing that I did was I wanted to go ahead and verify what size bolts that I had, and then I just went ahead and grabbed my impact, applied that size, and we will get this bad boy off. So these are actually a 7/16, so I'm going to very slowly get those screws out, and I'm going to pocket that. It looks like they're just tech screws. So also note that this is some very thin gauge sheet metal, so you don't want to go crazy with the impact drill. You want to actually set that to the low setting. There we go. Get that off. Alright, so this is now essentially disassembled in this one section. So you have to be very careful, because if somebody was to operate this door, this panel is completely free and will come apart. But luckily for us, it has a few points of luckily for us, it's secured in a few different areas. So looking at this, the panel looks kind of beat up a little bit. Looks like somebody went a little bit too hard with those tech screws at some point. So we will take the old shaft out, which I can see a bunch of damage on this shaft. This thing is beat. So let's go ahead and get that out of there. And I want to check the inner race. Looks like this plate had recently been replaced. This looks brand new. And before I install the new one, I'm going to go ahead and coat it with just a light coating of this synthetic grease here. So let's go ahead and get some of that on there. Just a light coat, just to help it out a little bit. So I will just coat the shaft. There we go. And I will clean any excess off after I get it up. I'll go ahead and put the shaft in there and get it started. Alright, we are looking good. So let's go ahead and get this wheel inside of the track and get that first screw landed. So there, I have now landed all my screws, and I got my roller in the track. So now I'm going to go ahead and button this up, and that should be it for this. So I have it in my very absolutely lowest setting, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit that. Hit that second one. Hit that third one. Yeah, so as soon as I tighten it, it pulled the panel into the fixture. There we go. So there we go. That looks good, nice and secure. I'm gonna go ahead and have a look at some of the other ones and just make sure that everything is looking good. And to be honest with you, since I'm here, I'm looking at this guy right here. He's looking, he doesn't look like he's in the greatest condition. So you know, since we're here, let me go ahead and get that guy dealt with too. Alright, so there we go. We have actually released number 2, and yeah, this guy, he doesn't look like he's in the greatest condition. So we'll just go ahead and get him swapped. Looks like at some point this thing can go out. But yeah, I'm gonna light coat of grease on the shaft. There we go. And these are pre-lubricated bearings. So there we go. This thing could use a cleaning, but we're not going to be doing that today. So I have set all 4 of my screws, and I will come behind it with the light impact and get those buckled up. And there you have it. That is 2 bearings swapped out. So let me go ahead and I will go ahead and check all the rest of them, and then we will get this door operational and see what the operation looks like. Okay, so I've just finished checking all the rest of these guys, and they're looking good. Not too bad, not too bad. Nothing to raise any concern. So I'm gonna go ahead and engage my interlock back on. So I pulled the green down, and now we are no longer operating off of the manual chain drive. So let me get that out of the way, and I will push the stop to reset, and now let me operate. it. Okay, so that operation looks good. Yep, so for now, roller looks good. 2 rollers replaced. I got 2 for spare. I will go ahead and hand that off to the managers in charge, and that will be it for this one. So pretty simple job. I guess the most important thing to do on this job is to disengage your interlock so that nobody can operate the door while you're working on it. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and stay safe out there. Have a great day. Thank you.